Bam! What's up, guys? Well, today we're going to go over two things. One, Skylanders event. Yay! Free stuff. Two, the future of Skylanders. Thanks to this Hive notice for those of us that have still been farming consistently and continued to farm consistently. Uh, you know, but we'll get to that. Because that's there's a lot of speculation right now. Basically, is the issue, and we're not going to know more until more information comes out. So, first things first, the good news: we have a first anniversary, even though the anniversary was in December. I remember, man. I remember. I've been playing since December. All right, you can't give me this anniversary crap. All right, I've been playing since December. That's when the AU server came out, AUCA. All right, that's when the game started. All right, nothing. There was a few changes upon global release, but the game's been out since December. So please, enough of that jazz already. All right. um, you know, we get a bunch of energy. All right, day one, 365 energy. Hopefully it's split up, but it probably won't be split into a sub 150 energy amount. Day two, 10 green skill stones. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Day three, 1 million gold. So more to work with. Day four, three three medium stones. All right. Day five, 5 green tickets. Nice for the summons if you're still lacking some shards. Day six, 2 red stones. Oh boy, they're giving a lot. I was gonna say they're giving a lot of green stones, and the medium and large are like enough for like one. Like the medium will get you through like a couple skill ups. Like I have so many extra mediums because most of the skill stones are actually just green and red requirements more so than medium stones. But it's nice. And yeah, the red ones is like enough for depending on what you're leveling. You're probably like if you're gonna use them when you're nat fives, there's like one skill up there. Well, depending on what which skill. It's still two stones. It's nice, right? Something to use. And then day seven, we're getting ourselves the legendary summon. Now I'm not sure which one exactly it is. Let's see, legendary selection scroll. All right, so you get to pick out of I think pretty much any nat 5. With this current event on at the moment, you can purchase these legendary selection scrolls with gems, and you can select like pretty much any Skylander, like Bloom Bloom, your light dark units and stuff. So yeah, they're pretty good. I like them. I like them a lot. Um, it's a little bit easy to acquire shards, but you get to specify which one. They've definitely been throwing things out to us lately, right? Which is, I guess, an extra sort of apology. They're just throwing all these things at us that they held back from us for such a long time, I suppose. And this is where we're at now. Now, that's the good news, right? We're gonna get all this stuff in like a week, just for logging in. All right. So February 21st. So probably after today's rollover, in a couple hours, it should start. Um, and then yeah, until next week, basically, February 29th. Now, onto the interesting and potentially bad news. We'll have to wait and see. 1 year anniversary letter to Portermaster. So this is like an apology, and we're working on it. And is the game closing? Kind of a thing. All right. Uh, Greetings, Portermasters. It's already been 1 year since Skylanders was released globally. Over the course of the year, Skylanders has had many changes, so we would like to thank you for celebrating our first anniversary with us and for all the love and support that many of you have sent us throughout the year. Over time, there have been many comments about what needs to be improved. and we have been very sympathetic to what users have sent us, and we've been steadily improving and updating the Skylanders Ring of Heroes. I like that. Updating the Skylanders Ring of Heroes, you know? It reminds me of how like often you'll just see like the Americas instead of like just America, right? However, we are regretful that our efforts were not enough to satisfy all users. So this is obviously a throwback to, you know, there were so many people that wanted like so many different things. They wanted things, you know, half of everyone wanted things kept the same, half of everyone wanted things changed, and then like as things changed and then more changes came, half of the people still left because a lot of people left, wanted, you know, no changes on this new aspect, and then everybody else wanted changes on the new aspect. There's never really been winning for Skylanders here. It was just there was a lot of whining. All right, there's a lot of complaints, a lot of whining, in the early, mid, and late game when it came to how the game should progress forward, which is unfortunate, right? There wasn't really any winning with them, no matter what they did. This inevitably led to a long year filled with regrets and disappointments, and then they kind of went dark on everything. We've had a lot of internal discussions about these concerns, and we needed to pull back a bit, stop and think. Are the steps we're taking the right steps, and are we moving Skylanders Ring of Heroes in the right direction? No matter how many times we looked at it, the result that we're looking for, the one road that led to satisfaction for all players, it wasn't attainable. Exactly. There's just too many people wanted their own thing and what they thought the game should be like, basically. And you know, you can't win with that, right? Yes, we could make changes here and there, but overall, we wouldn't be fixing major issues. We'd just be slapping a band-aid on them, which is true. But you know, it says a lot when a company at least tries and will try to keep the player base informed, right? They're like, well, look, we should have like they could have been like, we should have worked on this aspect, but we didn't, and now we're going to try and work on this aspect of the game, and you know, fix shit up. Just you know, inform us, keep the player base informed. That's all. That's You will find that some of the best reviewed games on Steam that are still in development, most of the reviews will be like, "Oh, the dev team is super interactive," you know. Yeah, like that's it. They like they hear the players' concerns and stuff, and they go for it. However, yeah, Skylanders had that little issue where like there were just so many players torn between you know everything. There wasn't any winning, and they inevitably would often cave to really petty, insignificant things because there was a bit of whining from a vocal minority, you know, which is often the case these days. A lot of vocal minorities in certain communities complain about something, right? And we'll see a lot of reports and changes happen based around that, and then the greater player base will just up and leave, right? Because they didn't want those changes and stuff. Therefore, we're currently developing a whole new Skylanders Ring of Heroes. So this is the interesting part, right? And we're working hard to introduce it as soon as possible. In fact, we're trying to get it launched later this year. So, yeah, we are aware of the concerns that many of you in our community have shared with us. However, because this change was such a big decision, it has taken us longer than originally anticipated to get around to sharing the news. And as it has been such a long time, we're sure you, the community, would be curious about when and how Skylanders Ring of Heroes will change. However, due to the scale of this project and because of all the major changes coming out of it, it's ever changing and nothing is set in stone yet. Any major updates or details will be shared at a later date in the near future. Thank you again for supporting Skylanders Ring of Heroes for 1 year, even though there were a lot of flaws, and we will do our best to repay your support through the newly born Skylanders in 2020. Thank you. So, what this reads a lot like is that there's going to be one of two things, right? There's going to be a whole new game, and this one's the current one we're playing is going to shut down, all right? Or they're talking about when they say a whole new Skylanders Ring of Heroes, they're talking about like this like massive overhaul of the entire game. Um, much like many games were like okay, really good example probably would be I don't know if you guys anyone familiar with Final Fantasy 14, right? When that was originally released, it was not well received. There was certain things said by the developer or the project head at the time that did not go down well, such as like even something as minuscule as jumping in the game, right? The developer was like, so people were like, oh, why can't we jump in this MMORPG, right? And the developer responded with, oh, you don't need to jump, right? And it's like, well, it's just a neat little thing to have in there, and he got like flamed to all heck for that. You know, it's a small thing to be able to jump, right? But at the same time, people had a point, and eventually that guy got the sack. The game was I think they shut it down for a while. It's been a long time, right? So I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think they shut it down for a while, and then they've come out with this whole new Final Fantasy 14, and it's very successful now, right? Not like World of Warcraft successful, but it's successful. It's doing well. It's not getting smashed with criticism consistently like the old one was, right? Like the old one was very bug filled. There was like repurposed textures all over the place for like the open world and stuff. Like it was really bad, right? It looked like cheap junk and a lot of shortcuts taken. Uh, and I don't actually remember if they like transferred items and stuff over in that particular case. But the point is that like there was a major overhaul done with the game, and it was brought back. I believe that this is what they're intending with what they're saying here with Skylanders is that like we very possibly might not lose our progress and things like that, or we may very possibly be heavily compensated if this does indeed turn out to be like if they can't release this whole new Skylanders without shutting down the original servers information, etc. Um, we very well may be heavily compensated because I would like to think that they're not stupid enough to say we're just going to shut this down and launch a whole new game. Everyone has to start fresh because everyone still remaining would just be gone, or at least the majority of us would be, right? Especially more so because like they're still releasing these events, right? They're trying to like say, hey guys, thank you for staying for so long. We know we've been quiet. Look at all these shiny things that they are throwing a lot of skill stones at us these days. They're throwing more gold at us. They're throwing more like summoning tickets at us and stuff, right? Like we are getting more these days, and I think it's kind of a thank you to the players, even though they're not being vocal about it. It kind of feels like that. So I think they're well aware of what would happen if they did, you know, especially if they're giving us all this stuff. I imagine that they're planning on letting us keep it, right? At least I would hope so. If not, as I said, like there's gonna be a lot of people that just they're not gonna play the new one. They're just gonna move on. Um, I don't know what I'll be doing if it does wind up like that, but I play quite a few accounts across multiple games. I got time investment in other places, right? So it would like, if I lost all my progress, I'm not sure if I would continue playing personally. Um, while I can understand why some people who really like Skylanders, not like Ring of Heroes specifically, but like Skylanders in general, right? And they want to play a Skylanders game, I can understand why they want to keep playing, right? Um, like for me personally, I'm like invested heavily in WoW right now, like classic. I've still got my Summoners or accounts that I'm playing, and things like that, right? Like I got quite a few things that like any excuse to drop one of them, you know. Um, However, if the game was to say heavily compensate, or we don't lose our stuff, then obviously I'll just keep playing, I guess. Heavy compensation, especially when people have invested so much time and money, is just like that would be the smart thing to do, right? If they were forced to release like a whole new game to implement the changes that they want to implement. At the same time, though, this seems like a bit like that would sound like a massive risk because, like, as with all the previous Skylander changes, what if people don't like them? There's going to be more whining, there's going to be more complaints, and there's going to be more quitters anyway. At the end of the day, I can't like if they take option 2 or 3, it's a huge risk, honestly. Either way, so I would like to think that they are like it is just going to be like a major overhaul, right? Even though it sounds like it could be the others, if it's not a major overhaul seems like the safest bet here, right? But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's like a early shutdown notice, and we're not sure yet. And yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll update again if the when more info comes out on this particular case. And yeah, hopefully it is just we'll be able to keep grinding and playing, and we'll see how we go. Like it just there's too much. Like there's not enough information, right? It's all speculation right now. There's not enough information, unfortunately, and yeah, we just have to see how it goes. But for now, for those of you who are still playing and enjoying the game and the grinding, at the very least, we've got this event. We can still do what we're doing. I know they've been very dark when it comes to general information lately, but yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. The lack of like dungeons and other events is like troubling in general, but because just throwing resources at us isn't really ooh, the game is having work done on it kind of a feeling, right? It's kind of what work, like we don't know what work's being done on the game. And I think that is the biggest issue right now when it comes to Skylanders. And I know some people just with this announcement are probably going to stop playing already because it's just too up in the air. They probably needed to be more specific. However, maybe they were too afraid to be more specific because then it would confirm that these servers are shutting down. So, who knows, I guess. I'm going to wait and see what's going on before I decide if I'm going to drop Skylanders or not. And yeah, meanwhile, I'll keep grinding, I'll keep progressing. My account is I'll have to do an update on it eventually soon. I've been playing around with some characters like I to try and get some faster B10 and Whaling 10 teams going, but I feel like so far my Skillstone investment has been a bit wasted uh, when it comes to the characters that I've been testing and flying up in the air. Maybe I'm just not ruining them appropriately, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like that character balance that never happened, it probably would have been helpful to have that happen. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there for now, and yeah, I guess like I said, we'll see how this goes, and yeah, this may be the end, it may not be. We'll see. Anyways, hopefully you guys have a whew, I don't even know what to say now, guys. I'm lost. I'm just like, yeah, it's sad. It's sad that they had this. They had so much potential for the game, and just like, yeah, they just didn't move it in the right direction. They should have released it as it was in the beta. There was more in the game from what I saw in the beta footage than like there was on actual release, which is really weird. right? Like the villains and stuff. Like they had a full lineup of villains, like even Luminous. Luminous isn't in the game, you know? I don't know. I I'm not sure who's making the decisions over there, but it's a shame that they had this really good IP and whoever's behind making the decisions have just kind of how do I phrase this? You know, they've just kind of let it fall through their hand, through their fingers, right? They've let it fall through their fingers. Let it slip through their fingers, I guess is the better phrase. It's like this could have been a long time money maker for them. And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with this supposed overhaul. Potentially big Asia release, you know, potentially. Um, but as I said, it's not going to matter too much if they shut the game down, because when they bring out the new one, new players will come in. Sorry, when I say it's not going to matter too much if they shut the game down, I mean for like their finances, not for us. You know, it's going to matter to us, but for them, you know, Activision, Comduis, it's gonna be fine for them. Either way, you know, they're gonna, you know, if they open it up to like an Asia server plus global, the new game's gonna bring in players anyway. Either way, it won't bring in a lot of people that already left, but it's not gonna matter once the Asian audience moves in, right? Um, Things like that. Anyways, we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just ranting now. And yeah, good luck, guys, and happy progression. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on stream and stuff, and pop us a little chat. Yeah, we'll have a proper talk about it if yous want. Doesn't matter what I'm playing, remember. We'll have a proper talk about it if yous want. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Peace.